Welcome to 3 Minute Gaming News, your one stop to get all your daily gaming news in just 3 minutes. Let's start with Xbox Game Pass, and there are multiple games leaving the service this November. Titles leaving include Stalker 2, Spiritor, Frostpunk, Football Manager 24 and Blacksmith Master. So if any of these are on your playlist, you might want to smash them out while you still can. Chris Stockman, the design director for the original Saints Row game, has revealed he was asked to pitch a new version of the game, which could serve as a prequel, further stating that he understands why they went the route that they did, however he feels it strayed too far from its roots. Now, Saints Row 2 is one of my top 5 games ever made, and I wasn't really a fan of 3 or 4 with a more comedic approach, so if this becomes a reality, this is very exciting news for me. The physical copy of Animal Crossing New Horizon for the Nintendo Switch 2 now has a price and release date. The game is due out January 15th, 2026 and will cost $65 US. This is available for pre-order right now at places such as Amazon, GameStop, Best Buy and Walmart, to name a few. Now don't forget, existing owners of the game on the original Switch can upgrade to the new Switch 2 version for just $5. Arc Raiders has released a full roadmap for the rest of 2025 and it is stacked with content. November will see the release of the North Line update, as well as a new map, 2 new Arc enemies, new quests and more. December will bring the Cold Snap update, which will add a new Snowfall map, as well as the Flicker Flames event, new quests and more. You can find out more information about this all online. And finally, Darkstone Digital, the developer behind the Mortuary Assistant, has announced Paranormal Activity Threshold, their brand new game. There's no release date for the game yet, but you can wishlist this on Steam right now. Please note, it does come with some warnings for the content of the game, so do your research before you dive headfirst into this one. Welcome to 3 Minute Gaming News, your one stop to get all your daily gaming news in just 3 minutes. The Switch 2 console has now sold more than 10 million units already. This will now put it above the original Switch, the PlayStation 5 and the PlayStation 4 in units sold within their first 6 months on sale. Once even more first-party games are released for the Switch 2, giving consumers more reasons to pick up the console, I wonder just how high this number will reach, considering the original Switch has currently sold more than 150 million units worldwide. Now, do you own a Switch 2? If so, how are you finding it? What are your favourite games? Fans of Obsidian's Pillars of Eternity might be pleased to know that the game is getting a surprise beta test to add turn-based combat to the game. Now, this comes 10 years after its original release, and this beta will begin November 5th, which is tomorrow at the time of recording. So, players will be able to choose between using the current real-time combat system the game has, or the new turn-based one, which I think is probably safe to assume is to appeal to players who fell in love with turn-based combat through the likes of Baldur's Gate 3 and Expedition 33. So look forward to this if you're a fan of the combat system, or just need another reason to jump back into the RPG. Mike Pondsmith, the creator of Cyberpunk, has stated he would like Keanu Reeves to return as Johnny Silverhand, and even has ways that can make it possible. This is despite certain events within Cyberpunk kinda making this seemingly impossible on choices. Now, while I think most of us would love to see Keanu Reeves take up the helm again, it seems this might not be a reality, as Pondsmith has also stated he isn't directly involved in Cyberpunk 2 like he was the original game. So time really will tell on this front. And finally, EA has stated that despite the upcoming sale of the company to private equity and Saudi Arabian owners, that they will retain creative control over the company. Now, this comes from an internal employee-focused FAQ addressing the culture changes at the company, and this is kind of interesting news. Anyone who's familiar with EA and their the companies within them will know that certain games like BioWare's Mass Effect and Dragon Age and The Sims have featured things such as same-sex relationships for years, which obviously doesn't align with the culture of places like Saudi Arabia. So the actual effect of this sale and the creative control / input from investors won't be seen for a while, assumingly not until one of these games or a similar one is released. It'll be interesting to see if this is actually true or not, or if EA really will have creative control and are seemingly thinking ahead to show that this won't be an issue. Welcome to 3 Minute Gaming News, your one stop to get all your daily gaming news in just 3 minutes. Now, news on the DLC expansion Mega Dimension for Pokemon Legends ZA has dropped. Arriving on December 10th, the DLC will see players enter portals to take them to a hyperspace version of Luminous City for them to explore. While the city itself looks the same, everything will be chrome. The city will also feature Pokemon not seen in the base game, and this will include Alolan and Galarian variants of Pokemon. Now, some of these Pokemon will be what is called hyperspace levels, meaning that they could exceed level 100, giving players a challenge even if their team is stacked. The DLC will also see new Mega Evolutions and the return of Korrina from Pokemon X and Y, so you can look forward to this in just over a month. Fans of Baldur's Gate 3 will be pleased to know that over 100 modders are working on a full brand new campaign to be added to the game thanks to the huge modding community. This campaign mod, called Path to Menza Branson, and the Alpha will be a prologue chapter, and that is stated to be released in the first half of 2026. Now, as the title suggests, the story will take the players to the drow city of Menza Branson, which I've probably butchered even though I've played the game extensively, and players might be familiar with this due to being where Minthara originates from, or the fact that within the Faerun lore, it is a massive drow city. The campaign will also bring a new cast of fully voiced characters, each with their own backstory. You can check a trailer out for this now online, and I'm personally really excited to see more of this. Overcooked is coming to Netflix, and I promise this isn't a joke. Being done by Netflix and A24, the show will aim to follow the style of Nailed It and The Floor is Lava, while keeping the chaos of the game as its heart. While it's said to be in the very early stages, this is certainly something to keep an eye on. And finally, there's some Dead by Daylight news as Castlevania's Dracula and Silent Hill's Pyramid Head are coming to the game as the Dark Lord and the Executioner in a 2v8 battle. This also brings to them Cheryl Mason from Silent Hill 3 and Trevor Belmont from Castlevania as heroes. The event is live today and will last until November 20th, so get in while you can. Welcome to 3 Minute Gaming News, your one stop to get all your daily gaming news in just 3 minutes. Let's start with GTA 6, which has once again been delayed. After previous delays, the game was announced as coming out on May 26th, 2026. However, the new date for the game is now November 19th, 2026, which gives us another 6-month delay to contend with. Now, Rockstar Games tweeted this news out, saying it will allow them more time to add polish to the game and to bring it to the level players expect. But by this point, are you still excited for the game? And it's not just GTA 6 that has been delayed, as Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra has also been delayed. Now, while this didn't have a set release date, apart from early 2026, the game has now been pushed beyond this window, suggesting we'll see it in the later half of the year. The reason behind this has been stated to be due to wanting to make sure the game delivers the quality that both the team and players expect. BioWare have reconfirmed that the next Mass Effect game is still in development. This comes in a blog post from executive producer Mike Gamble. However, that's all the news there is. So if you're hoping for an update, a small teaser trailer or screenshots or something, you're going to be disappointed. Hollow Knight Silksong has gotten its 4th update this month. This one brings more fixes and improvements to the game. Interestingly enough, the update also incorporates a fan mod to solve one of the issues of the game. It's a great job, modding community. And finally, the CEO of Take-Two, Strauss Zelnick, has stated that Borderlands 4 didn't have the launch that the company hoped for. They had further gone to state that the sales were much softer than they had expected, and while the game has sold over 2.5 million copies, Borderlands 3 sold 5 million in just its first 5 days, so there is a huge differential here in the sale numbers. So what do you think of Borderlands 4? I've not personally played it, but I've heard mixed things from multiple people. Welcome to 3 Minute Gaming News, your one stop to get all your daily gaming news in just 3 minutes. The new PlayStation Plus games for November are now available to download and keep for as long as you have a membership. These are Stray, WRC24 and Tabs, Totally Accurate Battle Simulator. More PlayStation news now, as the PS Portal has now added full cloud streaming to the device. This now means that PS Plus Premium members can stream and play directly on the handheld device without needing to connect to the PlayStation 5 device. This opens players up to being able to stream games from the Classics collection, like before, as well as games such as Cyberpunk 2077, Spider-Man Remastered, and Hogwarts Legacy, to just name a few. So hopefully this will give everyone some more reasons to use their devices. We've got more handheld device now, and this time it comes with the Steam Deck, which is finally allowing users to be able to download games in a power-saving mode. Up until now, users have had to keep this display on to get games to download. Now this update comes 4 years after the release, and it seems crazy to me. So hopefully there hasn't been too much screen burn happening in that time. Halleck Menzies, the general manager of Marvel Games, has stated that the company will be working with Insomniac after the release of the Wolverine game, one of my most anticipated games to come. This will probably come as huge news for fans of the Incredible Spider-Man games and who are also very excited for Wolverine, and it keeps my hope going that we might finally get a Daredevil game. And finally, Nintendo has revealed that around 84% of Switch 2 users have upgraded from owning the original Switch. Now, this is still a small percentage of Switch 1 owners who've upgraded to the Switch 2 device based on the number of devices sold so far, but it does show that there has been some appeal to people who never picked up a Switch 1 device. That was your 3-minute gaming news. We'll see you tomorrow.